So it's flirting isn't like it isn't like riding a bicycle. It is one of those things where if you go long enough and you start to do it, you can be a little weird or a little strange. And so many men in the church, they're just not used to doing it. And unfortunately, men in the world do it all the time. So they're trained in doing that thing. So they feel way more comfortable, way more smooth with that. So that's one thing that people don't talk about. And of course, within that is them being nervous, them being shy, them not being confident, blah blah blah, all of those different elements. So men in the church do need to work on their confidence, needs to work on our confidence. Definitely need to be more aggressive, more assertive in that way. Also, I can say this, even as a very confident dude, I'm very confident. I can say approaching a woman in church is extremely uncomfortable because people, you can feel people kind of like looking at you. You could just feel it, especially if her homegirls are right there. It becomes this thing like, oh, so you want to talk to her? Like, it's like, especially if everybody's single, then it becomes this thing like, oh, dang, like you want her, you don't want us. Like it becomes I've experienced some crazy stuff where girls have showed me in a group meet where if I was talking to one girl, she would later on show me how one of her friends in a group meet would say, like, girl, no, he's mine. Like, please, no, for real, leave him alone. I told you, God said that's my husband. It's really weird out here.
Not and that one.
So there's that. The other element, and this, I'm about to be real with y'all. I'm about to be real. Dudes in the church, and this is an unspoken thing. We don't really talk about this, but this is a thing, a consensus really amongst a lot of us. Dudes in the church, because the idea of us dating is with the goal of waiting until marriage. Some dudes in the church, it becomes this thing where we want to hold off on some chick that we think is so ridiculously attractive, like someone that is like probably won't even be in the church. It's like we're thinking like no, I'm holding off on this unicorn of a woman, which women do the same thing. It might not be about looks. Some of it might be looks, but women do the same thing in the church. They're like, no, since it's my husband, he has to be like this. And men in the church are the exact same way. So we all fall into this trap where, obviously it's super important for us to not settle. But sometimes, again, we swing the pendulum too far to where now it's not necessarily that we're settling. Now it's that we have these almost unrealistic expectations. Now it's that we want someone that's like clank, clank, clank. And we like clank, clank. Like it's like we don't even compare. Or we think more highly of ourselves than we should. So really, we need to work on humbling ourselves, like straight up. And I've dealt with this. God had to deal with me where I would meet women. And I'm someone that I'm very good at communication, very good at confrontation, but I like very strong women. But in that, I do not like a woman that's trying to run over me or that's trying to like cut me down. So God has had to work on me having patience with women whose mouths are a little sharp. Because I was a type where, wait, what'd you say? Did you say something? Oh, we over. We good. Bye. No. Go ahead. Go back to them worldly dudes, or go ahead. Go back with them.
Go ahead.
You want to talk crazy? Okay. We good. And so God has had to work on me to say, no, you jacked up too, Playboy. You got some issues too that you're gonna need. You're gonna need your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife to have grace for you with. You're gonna need the rest of your life someone to have grace for you. You have some issues you're gonna have to grow out of. Some issues you just gonna have the rest of your life. And if you want someone to have grace for you, you need to learn how to work on having grace for someone else. So to bring it all back, a lot of men in the church just lack grace. We lack grace in terms of this crazy standard of how we want our woman to look. We lack grace in terms of just how we want our woman to talk to us, to never say anything out of pocket. But we also want her to be a leader. It's just we want all of these things to kind of fit together nicely and come to us in a nice, beautiful bow. But in reality, God is like, yo, you need to humble yourself, like straight up. And so, those are some elements that there's other things I could say, but I wanted to say some things that I feel we don't talk about. And those are two major things that I feel that we don't really talk about enough or don't talk about at all.